Okay, let's look at some problems that are similar to the ones from assignment 1, circle equations. So they give you the equation, and what you have to do is identify the center, the radius, and then draw a graph. So for each one of these, the center, we'll call it C, will be an xy coordinate. And the way that you find the x and y coordinate for your center is going to be by looking at the numbers next to the x and next to the y in your equation. So like these over here have numbers next to the x and next to the y. We will use those numbers to write our center. But in ones like this, where there are no numbers here, that's just an understood zero. So when there's no numbers next to the x, no numbers next to the y, our center is going to be just at 0, 0. Our radius, we'll call that r, is always going to be the square root of whatever number is on the right-hand side. So make sure you square root that 9. If I put that in my calculator, the square root of 9 is 3. Now to graph that, I'm just going to draw a little coordinate grid. Plot my center point right there at 0, 0. And since my radius is 3, I need to go 3 to the right, plot a point. I need to go 3 up, plot a point. 3 left, plot a point, and 3 down, plot a point. Then I connect those points, and that's how I draw the graph. Let's look at another one. X squared plus y squared equals 25. Well, my center, I have no numbers next to x and no numbers next to y, so my center is going to be at 0, 0. My radius, it's going to be the square root of the number on the right-hand side. So square root of 25 is 5. To graph that, plot my center coordinate first at 0, 0. Then I need to go 5, that's my radius, 5 to the right, 5 up, 5 left, and 5 down. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, just something close. Number 3 here. No numbers next to x and y, so center is 0, 0. My radius is going to be the square root of this number. Square root of 33. Now 33 is not a perfect square, but when I put that in my calculator and try to find the value of square root 33, I get 5.74. And you can just round to the nearest tenth. It really doesn't matter. I'm just going to write 5.7. So to graph that, I'm using a decimal. It's not as easy to graph, but we can still do it. We'll just do our best. Plot our center at 0, 0. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go 6 over because we'll plot our point somewhere between 5 and 6. Kind of looks like maybe 5.7 might be right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plot our point somewhere in between 5 and 6. And then just connect our points. Just draw our circle there. Alright, so when we do have numbers next to our x and y, like I said before, we will use those numbers to find the value of our center. But we need to be careful. We have to use the opposite sign. So I have -3 right here. So my center is going to be actually +3. Flip the sign. So I've got -4. for my next to my y, then my y coordinate is going to be positive 4. Flip the sign. If it's negative here, it'll be positive here. Radius, square root, the number on the right hand side. So square root of 16 is 4. To graph that, same process, okay? We start by drawing our coordinate grid and plotting our center point, but this time our center is not at 0, 0, it's at 3, 4. So we need to draw the point 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where our center is. Then from our center, we go out the number of the radius. So if our center is here, we need to go 4 down, 4 up, 4 to the right, and 4 to the left. And draw our circle around the center. Let's look at another one. Number 5. The center coordinate is going to use these numbers, 1 and 3. But we need to make sure we flip the signs. We have negative 1 here in the equation, so our center coordinate will be positive 1. We have positive 3 for the y in the equation, so y, flip it, will be negative 3 for our center. Radius is going to be square root of that number. Square root of 16, which is 4. When we graph that, I'm going to plot the point 1, negative 3, that's my center, and then go out the number of my radius in each direction. So if my center is here, I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4 left, 1, 2, 3, 4 right, and 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Number 6. X minus 4 squared plus y squared equals 1. Well, I have a number next to my x, but I have no numbers next to my y. So this one is going to be interesting. My center, well, I know my x coordinate automatically. It's definitely going to be positive 4. If I have negative 4 here in the equation, I flip it, and it'll be positive 4 from my center. The y coordinate for my center, there is no number here. Well, just like in these ones up here, when there's no number next to the y, it's just going to be 0. So the y coordinate, and only the y coordinate this time, will be 0. The radius will be square root of the number on the right. So the square root of 1 is 1. Let's graph that. I'm going to plot my center point first. 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4x, 0 for the y. So right there. And then my radius is 1. So really I'm just going 1 up, 1 left, 1 down, and 1 to the right. And draw a little bitty circle there. One more. Center first. I'm going to use this number and this number, but make sure I flip my signs. If I have positive 1, then I'm going to put negative 1. If I have positive 4, then I'm going to put negative 4. Radius is going to be square root of 1, which is 1. Plot my center point. Negative 1, negative 4. Plot that point there. My radius is 1, so I need to go 1 out in every direction. Connect those points. That's how I draw my circle.